guys, welcome back to Umineko. It's been a while, a couple days since I recorded this, I think. The guest house lobby was wrapped in silence. The strings of tension bonding crossed on Suhi and Eva had already loosened. They were completely worn out with their minds beginning to waver. Every once in a while they would stand up and walk around pointlessly as though fighting their drowsiness. Are you okay, Eva? Sound, please. You take it easy and rest. I told you I'm fine. The three of us are now the only adults. There's no time to rest. No matter what the cost, we must go this place until the end. She spoke bravely, but she couldn't hide her rough breathing. It seemed that the fever, which had been calmed with medicine for a short time, had returned. It was very obvious that Eva's health was not good. Take it easy. At least close your eyes. If something happens, you need to be awake for. We will definitely wake you. I'm telling you, I'm fine. Leave me alone. It seemed she was already unwilling to budge. Cross and Natsuhi realized that even if they talked to her and mean nothing, or when she was like this, it wouldn't reach her ears. So without saying anything more, they decided to let her be. Diva right now, and even having an argument like that would be burdensome. It would probably be better for her body if it just sat there with her mouth closed. And in truth, Eva was just a step away from being beaten down by drowsiness. Perhaps she was shot back at them with a temper because she was trying to rouse herself and throw off her sleepiness. The clock would be pointing to 6 o'clock in the afternoon very soon. She would have several snacks to distract herself from her drowsiness so she didn't feel hungry. But now her lack of sleep made it feel like it was 6 in the morning, not the afternoon. Even supposing that the boat came at precisely 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, they still have more than 12 full hours to go. It was an overwhelmingly long stretch of time. Long, painful, hot. Even the sound of the clock torments my body now. In times like this, when that person puts his hand on my forehead, the fever fades at once. But that person no longer exists. In Eva's mind, it grew foggy. She was once again gripped by that deep sadness. She had already cried herself dry, even so the sadness of losing her beloved husband had not been exhausted. I was wrong. What do you mean? The new witch and Eva were fundamentally the same being. If he wanted her to talk to her, she would always respond. I thought that if I could gain a position of the Umineko family, had that alone would be enough. But then as soon as I saw that mountain of gold, my greed grew. I was struck by the desire to have that mountain of all to myself. That's nothing to be ashamed of. After all, it's your natural right as the Umineko family had. How could you not give up a bit of it to anyone else? I was scooped by that temptation, which is why you were born, while you were a young girl version of me. At the same time, you're also my self-centered evil heart because of my foolish greed. Just brought it by that mountain of gold that showed the aegis that was my heart corrupt, and you were born into this world. I am responsible for your birth. In that case, when I killed Rosa and Mariah and then Rudolph, Gary, and Hideyoshi, you were responsible for that too. Why did you kill my husband too? Why? I didn't want to kill Hideyoshi. He was just so annoying and persistent. And that's your fault. It's your fault for choosing a husband like that. A child like you cannot understand what made that man so wonderful. Oh dear. What the heck? Our dreams were made real with magic, right? We saw the riddle of the epitaph, then we found the gold and got the head terrain. All our dreams came fully true, right? What more could you want? Those were all my dreams about living a wonderful life with that person and giving George an excellent life. I still have many dreams that haven't come true as a wife and as a mother, and yet, those are just extra dreams you added after becoming an adult. They aren't my dreams. Just because you're a child, you only care about what's best for yourself. That's right, everything is my fault. Back then, why did I resist doing what Rizzo told me to? Why couldn't I announce all my sickness that I found the gold? It's all because I'm so hideous. My evil heart, which sprouted from my desire to have all that gold for myself, caused you to hatch. Looks like you really hate me, even though we're both Umineko Eva. No, that isn't true anymore, and it was you who said it. I am Umineko Eva, and you are the golden witch of Beatrice. So just disappear, which is our imaginary illusions that only exist in fairy tales. Things like you should just disappear and never appear in front of me again. Yeah, you're right, I understand. I'll disappear in front of you. And I'm no longer Umineko Eva. From now on, I'm the golden witch of Beatrice, so I'm not going to play however I want. I don't even care about you if you don't just give up and die. After having a very childlike nature, my witch had once been another Eva vanished. Only Eva was left behind in the darkness, and she questioned herself. Me? I killed them? Did I kill that person? Did I kill him? She could no longer answer that question herself. It seemed like that, half asleep, she'd gotten some saliva caught in her one pipe just as she was dozing off. Eva suddenly started coughing. Are you okay, Eva? Please don't see some water. Yes. I'm fine, okay? I just choked a bit. Cough, cough. Eva pushed away Nestle's hand as she tried to rub her back and unsteadily rose to her feet. I'm going to wash my face. Sorry, I fell asleep. When I get back, I'll make some more coffee. Extra strong so I won't get drowsy until tomorrow morning. Yes, please do. Your coffee is more to my taste than what Goda makes. I'm glad to hear it, even if it's flattery. I'll be back soon. Eva exited up the loud beat, headed on the bathroom and crossed the nursery, watched over her throw back. So you think sometimes you show concern for Eva's son, even though you've always been so much at odds with her. It is in this how an older brother is supposed to be. Yes, I believe you're right. Is it just Eva? There were Rudolphs and Roses too. Instead of acting like an older brother to them, all I ever did was speak arrogantly and bully them. In my own way, I was frantic in my desire to be like father, but I could never match up. I was always venting my feelings on them, but that's no excuse. I probably gave Eva scars to do with this, though I'm not healed. I regret it, but even if I apologize after all this time, it would do nothing to heal those wounds. If you can hold on to that feeling instead of only letting it last for this moment, I'm sure your siblings will come to see it sooner or later. Though by now, Eva is the only sibling I have left. If only you and siblings haven't been born in this weird family, you might have had a more normal and more fun sibling relationship. You mustn't say that. Eva will probably continue to hate me for her whole life, and she has a right to. I intend to resign myself to the fact and accept it. Dear Eva, I'm sorry. Of course you don't have to forgive me. Of course I won't forgive you. What are you talking about after all this time? Oh, so now you're feeling guilty. You're feeling you just give up and die right now. Do it, Tracer Sisters. That'd be kind of cool. Someone can screenshot that and flip it and leave a comment on what that said. Anyway, 45. Fire permission received. Reconfirming firing are correcting for weather discrepancies that are linked to 410. 410 data received. Fire impression confirmed. Firing. Together, their sisters released a magical bowstring they had readied. A beautiful tail trailed behind the gold arrow, and it drew a lovely curve as it flew. It was just like a gold snake. It skillfully avoided a grove of trees and flew towards the front door of the guest house. Then it flew into the keyhole of the door and snuck into the guest house without any problem at all. The gold snake raced down to the hall smoothly, yet as fast as an arrow. Right before it was the door to the lobby. And it flew into the keyhole. Cross and Natsu were already. For an instant, Cross thought he saw a gold-colored sparkle in the keyhole on the door. However, at the same time, as he strained his eyes to see what it was, that sparkle bent like a whip and attacked, wrapping itself around Cross's neck. Just looking at it, the gold snake seemed very supple. However, as though a wire had tightened around Cross's neck. And while that thing choked Cross, extended even more and also tightened around Natsuhi's neck. Without even a chance to scream, their eyes bulged as they went into convulsions and then collapsed. 45 hit kill confirmed. Formulating towering curve rising capture points. Data linked to 410. 410 data received. Initiating corpse towing. We got both of them. Yay. The gold snake began to drag Cross and Natsuhi's bodies back. They slipped through the door to the corridor, dragging their bodies gradually increasing in speed. And rapidly pulled them outside the guest house, so the lobby was silent, so nothing happened. As though Cross and Natsuhi had not been there since the beginning, only the sound of the wind and the rain remained, as if they were playing dumb and pretending to be the only ones there. So I'm fine now, I'll go make some coffee. We returned from the bathroom, but no one was in the lobby. Even though they had been supposedly been in that sofa until the moment she had choked and go to the bathroom, they were gone as if they'd been an illusion from the very beginning. How careless is that, and were those two go off together? Eva put her hand on the sofa as though acting as scene from a detective novel. She felt a warmth that meant they had been sitting there until a short while ago. Maybe they went to do rounds or something. For the time being, Eva sat down, waited for their return. But they're not going to return. Oh. guys, I am going to take a minute break here, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back, guys. Beato and George can be seen in the parlor of the mansion. George was kneeling near Shannon's body as though praying. His face was serious, and there was even sweat on his forehead. However, Beato was the same, and that she had handed over her name, and most of her previous owner had been lost. Power, not owner, power had been lost. Of course, she still had more than enough power to be called a witch, but compared to the past, it was a very faint thing. Good, don't talk to her, don't touch her with your hand. Call it to her with the words of your heart and seek her with the hand of your heart. Only your strong feelings can make my magic reach Shannon's lost soul. George kept praying earnestly and silently. He kept frantically yelling inside his heart, trying to call back the soul of the person he loved. He strongly envisioned his soul leaving his body and searching for her as she wandered through the land of the dead. Beato turned that strong force into a magical power that supplemented her own magic. This was magic that in the past she could have performed easily without anyone's help, but now if she didn't rely on someone's assistance, she wouldn't be able to finish the chant, much less succeed. I've forgotten for several centuries was magic, resurrection always difficult. Beato was even more strained expression than George. It had slipped her mind, but originally the magic to revive a life that was ultimated in art. Was a normal thing was her previous magical power, which could have been used over and over with the snap of her fingers. So the heavy burden on her body and mind was, fundamentally speaking, extremely hot. Natural. Sorry, guys, my mind's drifting off somewhere else. Okay. However, this man's power, even though he doesn't know magic, it's nothing to be laughed at. I see so is truly his kinship's grandchild. The strong energy pouring from George was large enough to act as a magical power. At first, Beato thought it must be the blood of Kinzo, the sorcerer. However, it probably wasn't it. She had a feeling that Battler had already told her what it was. It had been born from the power of George's sadness at the death of the person he loved, and from the way he had tried his hardest throughout his life, from the long time spent together with Shannon to the size of the gene they swore to protect in the future. Is it really possible for humans to take life so seriously, even though they've only have a single one? It was only natural to her. Life didn't mean anything more than the difference between the top and bottom of an Othello piece. If the black represented death, then she thought all you had to do was flip it over and make it white. However, it was just like the broken vase. To humans in a world without magic, where they cannot return things to their original form, it's very natural for them to get their life and soul. So this is endless. What she could do as she pleases, even with life and death. Inferior to a limited human who came and surpassed the mountain of death, this time which acknowledged that he was able to hold a magical power that could never reside on witches, and he didn't understand the value of life. Why does this thing called endless magic exist? And when I call myself the endless witch, did I forget what endless magic means for 1,000 years? She looked at George's expression again. His searching earnestness was like a blood being ball. Right now, George's body had been burned or smashed by a waterfall. He would probably continue to pray for his beloved without minding it, without noticing it. For the first time, she showed respect for that power. So that instant, all magical resistance was lost, and all enormous power of George's feelings turned into a magical energy in its complete form. The vase was very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as a young man, it was still, even as young as I was, it was forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. But that just made me want to touch it. But then the vase easily fell and smashed into pieces like a bubble had popped. It fell so the time it possessed the form had just been an illusion. Lives are just that fragile, just that easily lost. I realized that my foolish curiosity had led to something that couldn't be undone. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the smashed face wouldn't return back to its original form. A lost life will not return to normal no matter what happens. I was frightened that though even in my actions I'd been thoughtless and careless, I had been stolen. A life that could never be revived again. Then I pitied that lost life and cried. I was frightened at myself, the one responsible for its loss, and cried even more. I'm sure grandfather will also cry at the loss of his precious face. I'm sure that all the people who love grandfather and see him like that will cry. With the loss of a single life, the whole world's going to be filled with much sadness. I cried even more at how terrible that was. Beatrice appeared and spoke. Then, milady, let us revive that vase with magic. If that will make everybody happy, the vase and magic and the spirits will then happily lend you their power and return to its original form. Come, milady, close your eyes and chant with me. Come, try closing your eyes and try to remember what form did you have. It was surely a very, very beautiful form. Please show me that form one more time. words of power and knocked forcefully on the door to the land of the dead. The magic of her old self had performed that same forceful knock. However, doing it was horribly violent and earned the displeasure of the peacefully sleeping dead, but this time was different. It was very forceful and yet gentle and loving. The dead near the door opened their eyes and called out to the others that there was a voice calling for someone to come back. And the sentence of that voice calling from the outside touched the hearts of the dead, and trying to respond as quickly as possible, they searched for Shannon's lost soul. And then they found it. They found the casket in which Shannon was peacefully sleeping. It truly was Shannon's soul sleeping in the land of the dead. Inside the casket that was covered with flowers, frozen with frost. She was sleeping in peace. The dead silently lifted up the casket while I glanced. It looked like a funeral march that had complete opposite meaning. It was so solemn but filled with joy. The long forgotten day were made to remember that they were loved after their deaths, and they were all given a warm sense of peace. And then, as though guided by warm light from the heavens, Shannon's body floated above the casket. The dead watched her go. They squinted at that warm light, offering their respect to this unknown member of the living who had not lost his love for a person, even after their death. Shannon's body was enveloped in a light from the heavens that began to disappear. In the jet-black darkness of the land of the dead, that faint flickering of gold butterflies could be seen. It reminded them of the gentle stars in the night sky, which they had long forgotten. George remembered being told that he must not say anything. He hurriedly covered his mouth. However, it felt like his heart was just trying to jump into his throat because he had seen Shannon's eyelids shake slightly. Then his eyelids slowly opened. Shannon's eyes were there, but they were still wrapped in the fog of the land of the dead. However, the human's world's warmth, now her lover's warmth, which had called her back her soul, slowly dissolved that fog, and her eyes gradually regained their sparkle. Then her eyes moved and recognized George, son. As the lips shook weakly, Shannon definitely said that the words were very faint, so much that they normally wouldn't have reached his ears. However, George clearly heard them. He heard the person he cared for, his fiancée, the one he loved the most, who should have been dead, call his name once again. Shannon, do you know who I am? George, son, is that a dream? No, this isn't a dream. Come on, see here. Even if I pinch you, you won't wake up. As George said that, he softly pinched Shannon's cheek. It was how George had always responded in the past when Shannon had been surprised by something, and he asked if she was dreaming. When Shannon felt the warm touch of George's fingers on her cheek, and when George realized that the warmth of the living had already returned to this beloved person's cheek, they both cried. What words should a pair of lovers separated by death celebrate when they were reunited? The words of the human world are not enough. In short, they had no need of words of this world. George simply hugged Shannon, who was sitting up without talking. Shannon's strength was still feeble, and putting her arms around George's back took all she had. So George hugged her tightly to make up for that. She stopped each other from going once more to a place the other's hand couldn't reach. They held each other so tightly and so gently. Shannon's fingers curled around George's back. On her ring finger, the engagement ring George had given her definitely shone. The strong glint certainly wasn't just a sparkle of diamond. There was definitely magical power that only the two lovers could possibly feel. It was because that strong light existed that they had been able to find their casket in the land of the dead. Beato understood that ring. No, the feelings of the pair embodied in that ring were a miracle made real. In that moment, George definitely used magic. Beato had done nothing more than help him along. That magic had a power that could only reside in those who knew the importance of life, who knew what it meant to try with all one's might. It was the power of a miracle, one that the endless witch could not possibly know of. A miracle that only the power of the finite whatever, could give rise to. By now, she had no choice but to accept it. She had to accept that true magical power exists in the place farthest away from she who called herself a great witch. Beatrice Sama, she brought you back to life. Thank you, Beatrice. No, I did nothing. But what revived Shannon was your magical power. It was your magic. It was your me of blood which makes miracles come true. Surely saw you through. George's son revived me. Indeed, it was an incredible display of magical power, one that I could not hope to compete with. So I am still nothing more than a pretense, but now I finally know my place. Beato staggered backwards. Her physical strength was clearly exhausted. She humbly said that George's power alone had revived Shannon, but Beato had also used all of her magical and physical strength, and she reflected upon how difficult it was to revive a single life, except that she had been able to play around with however she wanted it in the past. The couple kept on embracing each other tightly, yeah. By doing that, those feelings that couldn't be communicated with a billion words were shared. Thank you, Beatrice, for in your debt. Thank you very much, Beatrice. I'll never forget a debt I owe you for bringing me to George again. Stop that. Being thanked by a pair of lovers is far too embarrassing for one who's been feared as a monster of a person. Don't worry about me. Celebrate your reunion together to the fullest. Beato, who was leaning with her back against the wall, slid down the wall and said, how many centuries have been since you last grew this tired from using magic? I probably haven't been this tired since the time I first succeeded in magic. Didn't teacher praise me that time? Oh, but didn't I kill that same teacher who praised me? Don't be so naive, Beatrice. Isn't that what killing means? Finally, it seems you finally remembered how to use magic. My head feels parched and suffocated, and I can't even remember. No, importantly, did I not kill you? You shouldn't be appearing. You are still allowing me to live even now. That is why I can appear like this. However, I did not come to you just pat your head. Did you come to sneer at how pathetic I am? Anyway, if I had my head patted by a retarded witch after all this happened, other witch would laugh at me. That's right. According to your bragging, you were not only a full of doubt, but a retired one, yet now you have learned how to use magic. That certainly does sound too embarrassing to tell anyone. Yeah, tell me about it. Keep it a secret, okay, teacher? Beato gazed at the couple hugging each other with a sense of close-hand despondency. Love is love. Love is it. I'm no match. 45 that I received. Firing preparations concluded. Oh, this is a random jump. Okay, ammo type selected and loaded. 400 firing heat. How did it get from that to this? The ghost snake arrow fired by the chysters. Weaved its way through the bushes in the rose garden. Weaved its way through hedges and climbed the stone. Stepped towards the benches, aiming for the keyhole. It weaved through the corridors and flew into the keyhole on the door to the parlor. It happened in an instant. One could hardly blame Beato. It was completely worn out from not noticing it beforehand. Oh no, really? Right before Beato's eyes, the gold snake flew into the keyhole, strung into two levers, and pierced the two hearts in a blink of an eye. Furthermore, the gold snake faithfully pierced a hole through Shanna's chest once more. The two hearts were pierced by that gold snake, by that gold sewing thread of the new brutal witch's furniture, and it happened in an instant, mocking the amount of effort I had taken to revive Shannon. Oh man, that is just BS right there, man. Complete BS, uncalled for. Before Beato shut the eyes, the two fell over and landed on the floor. George, Shannon, thank you, Beatrice, for letting us meet, even just for a short while. Thank you. George spent his last breath thanking Beato and died alongside the one he loved. The ghost snake was still sewed into place, spun like a large silk cyclone revolving around the inside of the parlor. They were searching for further prey in that room. And the tip of this thing met Beato's gaze. In that instant, Beato was prepared to die. And at that moment, Virgilia stood in front of her, the finger of both her hands drawing a seal. Instantly, gold-colored gold leaf buried the inside of the parlor. It was like a blizzard of gold. Beato, run all you can, knowing it can escape from the Charizard's golden bow. 410, target lost in the eyes, magical chef. 45, roger that. Modifying search algorithm, switching to interpersonal image-based tracking, target lock required data link to 410 data received. Too slow, predecessor Sama. Coming, impact. Prey target by the tracer says golden bow did not escape. It could not be blocked. No magical barrier could even dream of blocking it without it being multi-layered. The gap opened during that instant of confusion caused by Virgilia's deception. Magic was Beato's only chance to escape, and it was the only chance to make the sisters confuse Virgilia for Beato. As Virgilia spread her arms wide, blocking the way to her beloved disciple, the gold snake pierced straight through her heart. And they're sneaking into the keyhole. The snake shot through George, Shannon, and then Virgilia in an instant. Completely fell into Nurse Beato as she used that instant to escape. Damn. But it's as though she technically still is dead, but I don't know. As soon as Virgilia saw that Beato had gotten away, she died, even though she was kind of already dead, except for his spirit or something. I don't know. Whatever. The strands left her body and like gold dust drifting with the wind, her form was erased. Beato completely erased all traces of her magical power, became gold butterflies and passed through a wall, escaping to the wind and rain outside. Damn it, you bitch. Beato felt regret from the bottom of her heart. Why? Because she had been attacked by the new witch, Probably not. Of course, she hated losing her teacher. Even more importantly, Beato was enraged that the barbarism of the boorishly stolen away from the union between two lovers. Beato had poured out almost all of her magical power to reunite them, even though the result had been a miracle. The time it took to steal that away had been so ridiculously short. Beato trembled at the barbarous cruelty that had brought about such an abrupt end. Besides, this was a true form of the act she herself had committed until that point. So just as strongly as Beato hated them, it was just a look at her previous self with disgust. But now she had to escape. If she was targeted next, she would probably lose her life. To think that just put her happened to Senate thinking they were like a god, only about to be attacked by the pieces. 45 impact confirmed, target scattered, but without a doubt we crushed the predecessor Sama. Looks like our Apollo kill metals is going to get bigger again. Yeah. What was that about loving couples? You get to enjoy tearing the two apart by death, reunited them, and then tearing them apart again, right? Yeah. And along with that, I get to say goodbye to that damn fussy old hack. Rona, you don't have any complaints, right? I do not, Beatrice Sama. That person interfered with the ceremony of the witch's epitaph, you see. She arrived at sacrificing first twilight without permission of strictly nice ceremony. She's got no right at all to complain. Yeah, but it sucks that she didn't leave forced behind, and I thought I'd be able to torture that lag to death over and over again endlessly. Yeah. She's cruel. Okay, we're just gonna get screenshots of the house. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take a few minute break, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, guys, I'm back. George did. No, I didn't see him. When did he come down? Well, when you say what hour was that again? I think it was probably around 4 or 5. At the very least, it's more than an hour ago. We got sleep and probably dozed off into that. But I think it's probably like Jessica said, it's about 1 or 2 hours ago. I also remember stuff from around that time. I was asked if I wanted more coffee. It's been hard to believe it happened. Apparently, when anybody left for a second to wash their hands, Uncle Cross and Natsuhi had disappeared. There's no way they weren't hiding somewhere. Of course, the doors opened stood up and rigorously checked. They were all locked on the inside. No, not one of them was broken. And that wasn't just true for the first floor. The second floor was the same. Again, all the doors and windows had locks built in that way that made it impossible to lock them from the outside. In other words, there's no way that Uncle Cross and Natsuhi had gone outside, and they couldn't be found. Furthermore, they went to the homeless who had been disappeared. So had George Eniki of all people. George like he had left and he was going to get more coffee, and had gone downstairs more than an hour earlier. We assumed he was having a conversation with Eva and the rest, but Eva, who had been in the lobby the whole time, said no one had calmed down. Since all the doors and windows were locked with inside, it was unthinkable that they had gone outside. However, 3 humans had been evaporated from this barricaded guest house, which had become a perfect closed room. In a situation like this, we could imagine that it was because they were playing hide and seek and trying to scare us with a prank. But it's probably reasonable to assume that they'd been caught up in this crime. When Eva had learned that her only son was missing, she had gone half insane, running from room to room, yelling his name. And Jessica, my son, lost both of her parents and chased after her. Cries of George, and Mom and Dad had continued to echo through the guest house for some time. And then George had said something about wanting to see Shanna's dead face. It would be reasonable to assume that she snuck out of the guest house and went to the mansion. But I didn't have a clue about Uncle Cross and Natsuhi. Did they see young leave and go in the mansion to search for him? Without even telling Eva? At this rate, it's only a matter of time if we start planning to leave the guest house to go search for them. But when the time comes, I'll agree. But we thought staying up and holding the guest house would be safe, which is why I big I have a group of 12 people locked themselves up here this morning, and there's only 4 of us left. That means staying here is no guarantee of safety. However, there's one thing we can't afford to forget. All the doors and windows were locked on the inside. This is a closed room. How did they manage to vanish from this place? We searched around thoroughly, however, we couldn't find any traces of someone hiding. The theory they might almost certainly have been taken outside the guest house. I wonder how it was done. You don't think there might have been like a hidden door? A hidden door? The doors and windows were built in a way that makes it impossible to look from outside. Even using a fish line would probably be impossible with the way they're constructed. So maybe we'll assume that they left the vehicles with another than door and window. You're right, there does make logical sense. No one could be sure that no hidden doors exist. However, being forward leap into that conclusion, I suspect a much simpler possibility. And what would that be? For some time, Butler had been opening the windows, opening the shutters, and checking outside, repeating this for each window. This window's pretty quiet. I see it unlike the other windows because of how the building is shaped. The windows are blown to this one. It appears this way. It feels strange that no wind or rain come in, even though there's so much of it outside. Dr. Nacho, when I opened the window just out, did you hear a sound? Huh? No, I did not notice it. I believe it well oiled. In other words, it's possible to swing through a window in the hallway without no one is looking. Furthermore, the windows are blowing the window, so air pressure wouldn't cause their curtains to make a sound. It'd be quiet. Badler leaned forward and looked at the ground below. He was searching for some sign that George had jumped down, but at a glance he didn't see any mark like that in glass or in the middle of pouring rain. There might also be a window like this at the first floor. It'd be possible to go outside without anyone noticing. However, not only the doors, but the windows are two all locked, and the shutters are even down. And the shutters are even down as well, correct? It may be possible to go out through them, but you could unlock them afterwards. Sure, you can unlock them just like this. Click. Badler closed the window and unlocked it, so it was pretty obvious. That was something you weren't saying. If someone inside locked it afterwards, just closed it and Mrs. Hughes' pie. But that means, Ninja turned pale and shook his head several times because the thing Badler had said forced him to face the fact that it was frightening even to imagine. That's only if the trick I'm thinking of actually happened, okay? However, this trick only a very limited number of people could be suspected. He didn't want to say if Ninja of other eliminating Jessica who had been with them the whole time. Only Ninja and Eva could have done it. I did not do anything of the sort, yes, I swear it. In this case, it had become a battle between him, Eva, and Dr. Ninja for an alibi. We just have to suspect both of you and confine the two of you separately. To say on the way around, the more survivors there are, the more effective this trick might be. But since our numbers have shrunk so much, it isn't effective at all. No, on the contrary, there'd be a chance of having your own neck strangled by using it. It would be more advantageous to make it look like the culprit was outside, try and intentionally leave the door unlocked to break a new window. If this disappearance show might have taken place midday today, I'd be able to claim the story with full of confidence. However, at this stage, I'm not confident at all. What's going on here? What in the world does it mean? It's closed around. You don't think, what is it, Dr. Nanjo? You know, if it's just a thought, please say it. Nanjo looked like he was trying to swallow his words. Evidently, I thought something, so I urged him on. After Dr. Nanjo refused several times, saying that it was just a foolish idea, he finally said it out loud. Well, don't you think this might actually be the work of the witch? Ridiculous. There's no way witches exist. The witch is trying to make a case to us specifically because she's doing things that humans cannot do. She must be trying to make us accept her as a witch. To me, this disappearance from the closed room of the entire guest house feels like that kind of message from the witch. It's the numbers I think of. Surely it cannot mean anything. Oh, I am frightened. As Dr. Ninja shook with fear, it looked like he was trying to erase the fearsome thoughts that he could imagine one after the other. When we went down the stairs, and Eva and Jessica were in range, and were each persistent in their desire to leave this place, a search for their respective families. It was a desire that was actually his those who could no longer see their family, and Eva told Dr. Ninja me to stay here, but I shook my head, starting to walking. I've been shut inside for a long time already. I've been starting wanting to breathe some outside air. Yeah, if we're going, let's go quickly. There's no way I'm going to keep myself shut in a place like this anymore. Let's go and find Mom, Dad, and George and son right now. The blood had all raised to Jessica's head. I hope it doesn't set off for us. No. If anyone wants to stay, go ahead and stay, and we'll be searching outside. What about you, Dr. Ninja? Will you watch the place by yourself? No, allow me to join you. Rather than holding up beside along the guest house, whose security was by no means guaranteed. It would be better to enter a dangerous zone as a group of 4 people, and Eva had a gun. Moving separately from her was almost like asking to be made into a next victim. In this way, the 4 of us decided to leave the guest house. Even though we should have been sent to barricade ourselves here, we lost 8 people after doing so. It was almost as though it was a holding cell which sacrifices could be killed one after another. We removed the chain, unlocked the front door, and opened it. It was already pitch black. While there were some lights outside that dimly lit the pathway, they didn't have enough power to pierce the darkness that some suspicious person might be hiding in. Okay, guys, I need to take a break here in a minute. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Sorry about that, guys. I am back. Like 15 minutes later, whoops. I'm going. If you fall behind, you're on your own, okay? How far are we in? We're about 57 minutes in, but that's not counting all my breaks. So I holding her gun, and he would dash out with an umbrella. Disco followed after her. After glancing at each other, Dr. Nanjo and I chased after them. What in the world is happening in this mansion on this island? I've just been shoved in the guest house with the rest of the cousins since yesterday, so I don't know anything about what's going on outside. Just what is happening that I don't know about. So this room is a mansion on this island. Everything is happening, everything is proceeding, and everything is ending without my knowing it. Somewhere in my heart I've already started giving up. Most likely not one of us will see tomorrow morning. When the seagulls cry, nobody will be left alive. Okay guys, well, thanks for watching. I'm assuming we're getting kind of close probably to the end of this episode. Episode 3 is close to being over, I would assume, as much as people have died. We only have a few people left. Yeah, and I'll see y'all later.